All right, and we're back. Murmaider here. What's going on, guys? Here with Hell 22.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our guest Chester back finally.
What's going on?
Pretty
I
good.
heard you had another guest.
Yes, that we did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I could smell him.
Yeah.
It smells like suntan lotion and hair gel.
That sounds like the scenario.
Yeah, sounds about right.
He left sawdust all over the floor of the headquarters. He was making his own stump fiddle.
Oh, yeah.
He never finished it, though, like all the pieces. I got like a bicycle bell and a horn on my floor.
I was told he's still working on it, so hopefully next time we have him on the show, he'll have it all set.
You probably had to go tanning. It's fine.
Alright, so this past week we had a couple new reviews for you guys.
Just a couple.
Hell 22, you want to start off with one of your first ones, is As Autumn Calls?
Yeah, I'll talk about As Autumn Calls. These guys, it's a death doom band from Ontario, Canada. Now, I know, when you think Canada, you think like Bryan Adams and Justin Bieber. But no. There's also As Autumn Calls. Really good album. The name of the album is An Autumn Departure. The key thing to mention on this album is that, yes, it is a death doom album, much like a lot of the bands we reviewed, Hellevorn, Swallow the Sun, Draconian, but a lot of acoustic guitar on there. And it's really weird how that all comes together, because they don't just like do an acoustic interlude, they do an acoustic guitar with the guy growling over it. And it's really, really crazy to hear, those deep growls over just this delicate acoustic guitar. The album was actually recorded years ago, but they just re-recorded it to put it out on CD officially through their current label. They're actually recording a new album as we speak. Maybe not as we speak, but they're in the process of recording the album. So keep an eye out for that. It's gonna be you gotta check this one out. It's great. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Now, Murmaider.
Yeah.
Speaking of foreign countries, you did a review for Vyrion, which sounds oddly like Mysterion.
Yep, they actually have nothing to do with each other. South Park had nothing to do with Vyrion.
Okay, that's good. Where are they from?
That would be funny. Vyrion is from Australia, actually.
Oh.
Nice.
We haven't talked about too many Australian bands lately, but they are more or less a progressive black metal band. And now with the black metal that we've been going through lately, it's not the bad recording the way the old black metal bands used to do it. It's, a clean recording, almost like Dimmu Borgir, the quality anyways. But the growling was interesting. It changed a lot throughout the album. I mean, it had a lot of the black metal growling, the dark screaming, but in the first song, Ever Rising Platform, there was vocals in the beginning that sounded like Troy Sanders, actually, from Mastodon.
Really?
Like his type of harsh yelling. And that was what really hooked me at first, when I first put the album on. And so, once I got into it, I mean, it went from that and then went right into the harsh growling, but then it also had just some more deeper growling with it as well. So the vocals in general were really, really cool, the way it kept changing. Kind of kept you at the edge of your seat the whole time. But I really liked it. I would definitely check the album out. It's a self-titled album, Vyrion.
It's Australian for metal.
Yeah. Now, you did another one. The name of the band was Gorath, right?
Yeah. This one, I don't even know how I stumbled upon this. And once again, I assure you, it was not through the site stumble upon. Well, of course I'm going to say that. I don't want people to think I'm, advertising to stumble upon. The name of the album is Apocalypsis, Unveiling the Age That Is Not to Come. It's a long title. This band is from Belgium. Started as a one-man band in 1996 and has since evolved into four guys who kind of share this vision of the apocalypse, the impending apocalypse. Apparently, a lot of their other works have basically been preaching that the world is going to end since the turn of the 21st century.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's kind of this weird mix of black metal, death metal, thrash. A lot of the guitars are thrash, some of the vocals are death metal, but there's some black metal type drumming in there. And when you put it all together, it's this really interesting mix. And it kind of makes you think that maybe this is where those genres are going. Maybe this is the next combination that's really going to hit. So definitely check it out. I mean, the drumming was, I think, the most impressive part to me. Really lightning quick, because it changed so much from the rapid double bass and snare cymbal combos of black metal, and then suddenly all of a sudden one big roll right into like this huge, thunderous combo. I was blown away by it. The album's definitely an interesting listen. They got the lyrics posted on their site. Check those out too, and watch out for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Now, Murmaider, you did another review this week. Mm-hmm. Now, the name of the band is Said Alice Said.
Yep.
What's the deal?
Well, to be honest, I was a little turned off by the name of the band at first. It was just a little odd.
Sounds a little emo.
Yeah.
Sad Alice. Man.
But I figured I'd give it a shot. And this was just an EP that I reviewed. The EP is called Clock of Eternity. And this is a gothic female-fronted band. But there's actually a total of 7 people in the band.
I saw that.
Now you have your 2 guitarists, your bass, drums, vocals. They have a keyboardist. And then they also have a girl who plays the viola.
Oh.
Which I think is awesome. It's so much better to have like someone fill that slot of always being, the viola player, and instead of getting an orchestra all the time or using synths. A lot of bands use the keyboards and different sound effects, and but having a real live viola sounds so much better recorded in the studio. So that gave a really strong mix, really good sound to the mix, and then on top of that, the female vocalist. The style of it reminded me of Serenia a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, you're a big fan of Serenia,
Yeah,
so that's a good thing.
Yeah. So it was interesting. She has a lot of talent. I'm definitely curious where the band's going to go from here. They only have one other album out besides this, and like I said, this is just an EP now. So I'm sure they're planning to set up something very soon. So hopefully, I'll keep an eye on them. But the recording was great. The music was excellent. So it's definitely a band to check out.
Cool.
But now, today's topic, we were going to get into side projects, right?
Yeah, in doing the site and just listening to music in general, we come across a lot of bands that are side projects of some of our favorite musicians. And some of them are really good, and some of them are not so good. Yeah. And it kind of makes you wonder, a lot of these musicians just seem to have too much on their plate, and they need to just bring it back and focus on their main band. So we wanted to kind of talk about some of the good, some of the bad, and some of just the weird.
Yeah.
So I think Murmaider, one of your favorites, has actually recently been Ghost Brigade. I know you've mentioned them in the past. So tell us a little bit about that whole scenario.
Well,
not the scenario.
We talked about this before. Ghost Brigade, the keyboardist from Swallow the Sun, is part of Ghost Brigade, and I believe Ghost Brigade they have its own set of 5 members, and then he's the 6th that was added on. And it's not like Swallow the Sun. There are similar stuff going on, but it's definitely separate from Swallow the Sun. Some of their style of clean singing mixed in. It's not all like dark or aggressive. There are some lighter, beautiful parts to it. It's a really good mix. But Ghost Brigade has definitely been one of my favorite side projects that I've heard from a band that I normally listen to, like Swallow the Sun.
I think the key to that is that it's not a Swallow the Sun rip-off band. It's not like he just has another band that sounds exactly what he's doing.
Right, exactly.
And he's just kind of a part of this band. Mm-hmm. Now, also part of Swallow the Sun, the lead singer is also in Barren Earth,
right,
which is another band where the music is nothing like Swallow the Sun. However, when you listen to it, because he's the singer, you can definitely pick out that you know who you're listening to. I remember listening to that album the first couple times through and going, fuck, this sounds like the guy from Swallow the Sun. It wasn't until like the 5th listen that I bothered to actually look it up, realized that it was him.
Yep.
But that's another one. I think that's a good side project.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't interfere with, a new Swallow the Sun album. It's not like, oh, well, shit, we're not going to have a new Swallow the Sun for 4 years because they're off doing this shit.
Even one of the guitarists from Swallow the Sun has his own, the Trees of Eternity.
Oh, yes.
Which I'm still waiting for some sort of album to come out.
I haven't heard a goddamn thing from them. They had the songs on like their MySpace and everything, but
and that's all you hear. But
last I saw, they were trying to fill out a band and secure a deal, but I haven't heard word one about it. I'm hoping the project is still alive, because that's...
Yeah, I know they still work with the girl. It's really basically the girl and... I forget her name, but it's the girl and...
Leah?
Aaliyah, Aaliyah, yeah. And it's her and then one of the guitarists from Swallow the Sun, and they've actually used her on albums of Swallow the Sun.
Now she was the one that was on Lights on the Lake, the horror part 3.
Yeah, part 3. Yep.
Yep.
On the newest album.
I mean, I'd love to see that album come out.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know or haven't heard of Trees of Eternity, if you want to listen to that song off of the new Swallow the Sun album, and you'll get a little taste of like what she has to deliver.
Yeah, I think their MySpace is still active. It's Trees of Eternity official official Trees of Eternity on MySpace.
Yeah.
Definitely look them up because those songs are. Mm-hmm. I remember the first time you listened to them, you were kind of you were blown away.
Yep.
So now Chester, what do you think about all this side project business?
Well, side projects are really just outlets for the artist to actually expand on their creativity. That's my own point of view for that. Mm-hmm. Is like, when you're in a band or you're in a group, from my point of view, when you're in a group, you're so tunnel visioned on that one sound.
Right.
And to get out and join like a new band, maybe that will open up different outlets, so when they go back and they all reform, they can deliver something new, something better, something different.
Now, see, that's an interesting point, which kind of ties us into two different rows of this. First, you have Sons of Liberty, which Murmaider you just did a review for, a side project of John Schaefer of Iced Earth.
Yeah.
But now with him, Sons of Liberty kind of sounds like Iced Earth, but with
different meaning.
Yeah, political lyrics.
Yeah.
So now, how does that fit into the whole thing? Because I know he said that he has a new EP coming out in October, and basically the impression I got from his press release was that the music on it, the musical part, was like leftover Iced Earth riffs from their new album.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you do with that?
Yeah, I mean he's really just trying to take advantage of having a say and trying to spread what he feels is right. For his preaching that he does with politics and the governments and everything like that. And I mean, if you feel that strongly about something and you want to spread it out there, I guess that's a way to go about it. I mean, he's gonna have fans regardless that just want to listen to it for the music. You know? Like I like it just even just for the music. I think it's good.
Again, the lyrics didn't really bother you as much as they bothered me. I kind of found them to be a little overly preachy.
Right. Yeah. So to some, when we saw them live, I could you could definitely tell that some people were like annoyed of. In between songs, he would like preach.
Yeah, but now don't you think that that's part of the problem with side projects, especially in his case where he was opening for his own band? Where now, how do you separate the two? Because this is the guy from this band. So now, if he's on the stage with Sons of Liberty, basically saying, the government's fucking us over, they're all corrupt, we need to, rise up and overtake the government, and then he comes out with Iced Earth, how do you separate the two?
Yeah.
That's kind of when the side projects get dangerous.
Yeah. You should definitely never pair your side project with your main performance or your main act. That's like an ethic.
Yeah,
like you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that he opened for himself.
Well, I guess that was kind of the. I'm not going to say it's the cheapest road to go, but it's a lot easier for him to just come out, do a set, go take a break, and come back out.
Yeah.
I mean, Zakk Wylde did that for years when he would play with Black Label Society, take a break, and then come back with Ozzy.
Yeah.